acting and done a few different episodes of shows here and there. I had hosted a home makeover show for a couple seasons on HGTV, doing interior design and stuff. And I was a production manager actually for several years. And then I took a break when I got pregnant and had my son a couple years ago, and really just decided I'd take a break to really enjoy him. I mean, before he starts school, there's only a limited amount of time, and I just wanted to really enjoy him. And then this popped up, and I thought, well, I never thought I'd do a reality show. We'll see. Here I go.
Yeah. Now, did you ever think you were going to win this thing from the very beginning?
No, not in a million years. Not in a million years. And I made so many mistakes on the show, and I was in the bottom 2 twice. And I just thought, I'm going home. And then there was this dynamic in the house where, just like at home, America has their favorites they're rooting for.
Oh, yeah.
And Vinny, who was the finalist on Bobby's team, and we went head-to-head for the championship.
Yeah.
From day one, people were saying, Vinny, 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 Vinny. So I just kind of thought, you know, he's got it in the bag. He's really never made any huge mistakes. And people asked me, oh, well, was that intimidating? And I thought, well, no, it's his to lose. Everybody's kind of rooting for him, and nobody's giving me a chance. Like, you know, so
you figure you might as well just play the last one up.
I'm just going to cook to the best of my ability and hope that the food tastes great.
Exactly.
And I just thought my game plan is I don't want to be out because I make a mistake. I want to, if I lose, I want it to be because his food simply tasted better than mine, in the judge's opinion. Not because of any egregious error on my part.
Yeah.
And it sort of worked in my favor. And although I think in the end, Vinny's food was a little bit more, to their liking, it was a little more fancy, you know, and my food was a little bit more down home.
Yeah.
He made a really bad mistake. His creme brulee was soup.
Oh.
And when one of the judges cracked down into that shell and it slid all over, at that point I thought,
maybe
I might be the winner.
Maybe I got a chance.
Because that's bad.
Because his chances just slid away like the
I'm no Iron Chef, but I
was.
know that's not supposed to happen.
But I mean, you see so many. I mean, even when the pros do it on like Chopped and Iron Chef, I mean, you see so many things go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the possibility of screwing up and going home, I'm sure that was very much present in the back of your mind.
Very present, because so many things can happen, you know, and we had a practice round of the desserts, and with Vinny's, with creme brulee, you have to be very careful about not getting any, it's a very delicate dish to make.
Yeah, of course.
And you have to carry it, and the ramekins, and this water bath, and if one drop of water gets into the mixture, it's ruined.
Oh, jeez.
And so Vinny, I saw him during the demo carrying it over to the oven, being very careful. And in that moment, I looked over and I thought, that's dumb. Why are you carrying it? Water might get in there.
Especially when you're
nervous.
Like this, right?
I thought, I mess up all the time. If it were me, I would take all the components to the stove and put it together there and just put it in the stove instead of risking walking across.
Exactly.
But I thought, well, who am I? Bobby Flay's not going to tell me to do it. What am I going to say? And then he got water in it.
Yeah.
And then we had a second practice round, and I saw him shaking, carrying it over, and the same thing happened again. And there was this moment, because we became very good friends, there was this moment where I almost said, Vinny, why don't you just put it together at the stove?
Yeah.
And then I thought, you're not that good a friend. Not for $25,000.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's 25 grand on the line
you
here.
can't figure that out yourself. Oh, well. And then in the final, he did the exact same thing. He walked to the stove, water got in it, and he says to this day it was a $25,000 creme brulee.
Yep, there it is.
That's what cost him.
So what do you think was the most valuable lesson you learned during your time on the show?
Absolutely, without a doubt, to just be fearless in all you do. And as I said, I made several mistakes along the way, and I think in the kitchen, as in any aspect of life, you're going to mess up, and what you choose to do with that mistake, how you choose to respond to it, can make or break you. You can choose to crumble and get down on yourself and beat yourself up and give up, or you can say, I made a mistake, that's done and over with, I'm going to try again and try not to make that same mistake again. Yeah. And when it got down to the semifinals on the red team, Dorothy, the girl with the pink hair, she had really been sort of the top contender on the red team. Everything had gone well for her. And one day, the shrimp day, things started going wrong. Yeah. She made a lot of mistakes. It was the first time she was making mistakes, and she literally could not recover from the mistakes. And, so there's something to be said for not being perfect. And I think, especially here at SC, you have the top academic students from across the world, and everybody's used to doing really well and, being pretty close to perfect. But, you're going to get that B, or you're going to do poorly on a test, or you're going to forget to turn something, or there's going to be mistakes that you make, whatever you do, but you just can't let it get the best of you.
Oh, yeah.
So just be fearless, dust yourself off, and try again. It's the stuff we've learned that we've known since we were, little kids.
But you just need a harrowing
But we get
experience
older,
like that
and we forget, and we just get down on ourselves and get so critical because there's so much pressure. But the minute you start doing that, that's the minute you lose all the potential that's in you. So just keep your head up, keep your shoulders back, and be fearless.
Exactly. I'm sure a lot of our college-age viewers watching right now are thinking, because finals are next week, and they're
That's
thinking,
right.
And it's my hope that they take that message to heart, especially as they're going through this. So good luck already for those of you who are
Good luck
watching.
for sure. And you know what? Hey, if a final goes poorly, retake the class. Take summer school. It's not going to be the end of your life.
Exactly.
It may feel like it for a moment, but dust yourself off and get back on the bike. You'll be fine. If you're smart enough to get in here, you're smart enough to get out of here.
Exactly.
So don't worry if you make a mistake. You'll be okay.
All right. So going back to sort of the food world for a bit, I mean, we were talking during the break. You said you were a production manager.
I was a production manager. I worked for Warner Brothers, New Line, E! Entertainment, and Style Network.
Yeah, and then you'd also done something for HGTV as well.
Yes, I was a host for HGTV for interior design, a show called Take Over My Makeover for 2 seasons. That sort of, I guess my life is a series of really random events because I really had no experience whatsoever. And a friend of mine was actually casting the show, and she was like, "Your house is so super cute. You want to just turn in the tape?" And I was like, "Sure, I can talk about what I do."
Why the heck not?
Then they were like, "Oh yeah, you're the host," and I was like,
"Wait, what?
Of the show? I have no real experience. I just like to shop for home goods." But it was great, and it was really fun, and they're like, "But that's what it's all about. You don't have to have a specific degree to be a home decorator." And again, my job was to see people's mistakes and help them fix it.
There you go.
So maybe I can make a whole career of like screwing up and then making it better.
You could certainly do a lot worse with your career,
I know, right?
I'm sure.
Exactly.
I'm sure. Now, you had mentioned earlier, after you had your son a couple of years ago, you decided to sort of take a break, and that's how this whole Worst Cooks thing happened.
Yeah.
Do you think going forward from here, would you want to pursue a career in food or in
Not
restaurants?
if my life depended on it. It is so hard, tiring. The pay is terrible. I mean, let me just tell you, because I didn't cook a lot at home prior to the show, I ate out a lot. And while I was pretty good in restaurants, I didn't want to be too rude. I didn't want anyone to spit in my food or anything.
Yeah.
I had some moments of not appreciating what it takes for the people in the kitchen to get that food out, to get it hot, delicious, all out at the same time in the proper order. I really had no sincere appreciation for what that took in a restaurant full of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never mean, but even in some place as simple as like a diner, to get all those elements together for all the people at your table, I mean, it's really tough, and it's really hot and tiring and stressful in those kitchens, and I don't think I would have the stamina to do it, but I do have a new and profound respect for what happens in every kitchen and every restaurant across America, and I tip better now, and I understand that it's not just the waitress, that even if he or she isn't nice to me, there is a whole staff of people that is trying to feed their family, and that they're doing the best they can, and I will be different in restaurants for the rest of my life.
Well, you got the 25 grand on top of that. I think you can afford to tip a little bit.
Not in Los Angeles, and not after Uncle Sam.
Also true. I've forgotten about that part.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm definitely thankful for the money. It definitely helps a lot. I mean, to leave a very lucrative career, I made a very good living as a production manager, and it was an important decision for me to stay at home. I just had an experience when I was pregnant, watching a friend of mine and her child being upset. Her child had fallen, and she and the nanny were sitting side by side, and the child was crying and ran into the arms of the nanny instead of the mom for comfort. And I just thought, I will eat top ramen if I have to. If that's what it takes in the budget for me, at least for the first couple years, because it broke my heart for the mom. And she didn't have a choice. She needed to work. And I just didn't that would be too hard for me.
Yeah.
I thought I can sacrifice anything. So I will definitely go back into production or, you know, hosting or acting or home decorating or whatever. You know, let the chips fall where they may. You know, I'm just gonna kind of carpe diem and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I mean, I don't know, because sometimes on Food Network, you know, they invite, you know, the winners of their past shows to be judges on, you know, I don't know, say, you know, the same show.
Right.
Or
I would
show.
love to do that. That would be fantastic and awesome. And, but you never know. You never know how they're going to do things. But I would be open to do anything like that, and it would be an honor.
Yeah. Now, one thing that always boggled my mind whenever I was watching, you know, like Chopped or Iron Chef or anything like that, is that, you know, you see the ingredients that you have to work with, and you have the parameters.
Abysmal.
You know, entree, appetizer, dessert, whatever. What goes through your mind when you have to work with certain things like that?
Well, sheer panic. It really, in a nutshell, and especially, for instance, on Worst Cooks, the chefs would basically tell you need to create, say, you know, an original chicken dish with an original side and an original, you know, sauce or whatever, and it needs to be sweet and savory, and you go, great, got it, until you run to the pantry and go, there's no sugar and there's no honey. There are no crushed red peppers and there are no jalapeno peppers.
And you're like, now what do we do?
So you're gonna give me molasses. Others, I'm like, I've never worked with molasses, so you know, people at home are like, what a dummy, why didn't you just do a honey? And I'm like, because it wasn't there. So it's just panic, because you know the ingredients that would come to your mind first are not going to be there. Right. That's what makes it challenging. That's what makes it hard. And it really makes you think outside of the box. Yeah. But once you get a couple of those under your belt and go, well, no, I didn't know how to work with molasses, but I made it work. You know what? Use your taste buds.
There you go.
Taste.
That's your key to the way out, right?
That's your key. Yeah, you'll figure it out. Your taste buds work. Even if you don't know how to cook, your tongue is not broken. So taste it. And
you will know when it tastes really good or really bad.
You sure do. I don't care if you are the worst cook in America.
At least you have that much.
You know what tastes good and bad.
At least you have that much. Well, listen, Kelli, it's been fantastic having you on the show, but unfortunately, we're out of time.
It's been an honor. It's been great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for coming. We'd love to have you back anytime.
I would love to, and I want to invite you to do a cooking segment with me.
I would love to do that.
That's what I want to do.
We'll talk a little bit later, but in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. And this is our last show of the semester, I just want to take a quick moment to thank all of the people who have worked so hard to bring you CU at USC for this past semester. Hannah Maddens, our director, and Andrew Ross, our broadcast producer, along with their fantastic crew. They are superb week after week after week. You guys are amazing. So thank you all so much. My production staff, George Wasserman, Bella Urea, my senior producers, you guys have been, words cannot express how wonderful you guys are and how thankful I am to have been under your care for the last semester. And of course, our associate producers, Nancy, Maggie, Caitlin, Peter, Olivia, and Michelle. I don't think I forgot anybody. Thank you so much for being the wonderful people you are week after week. And of course, Joel Cutts, our executive producer, without whom this show certainly would not be as good as it is. So thank you all so much. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all in the fall. Cheers.
Good luck on finals.
Thank you so much.
Oh, what a pleasure. Wonderful. What a pleasure.
The odds of this boy achieving his dream in fashion, 1 in 20.